Hello, this is Lab 10. Uh, it's the Logisim version of my Planet State machine for the final project, which is the elevator for me. Here we have the input buttons, which give us, through this priority encoder, they give us the 4-bit value of the actual floor. So if it's like 15, this will be all ones here. I've used only one priority encoder instead of the two we actually have to use in the circuit because it didn't work for me here at Logisim. But and we don't actually care about how the priority encoder works right now. We just care about the logic here to get the actual states of the elevator. Okay, so let's say we choose floor 5. You see here, this goes to 5. The 4-bit value. This is 5, or let's say 15 goes to 15, and it goes to 15 because it prioritizes the biggest number. But let's reset everything. Okay, so this is the current floor, which is controlled by the sensors of the elevator. But right now we have to do it manually because we don't have the sensors. In the real thing, there are going to be sensors in each floor. And this is floor 0 always. It is used to get an input, which is the input D. In my notes, you can see it, which means that when the current floor is 0, we get a value of 1 for this input. And with this comparator is how we do it. The other comparator is to get the other inputs, A, B, C. As you can see, A, which is the equality between the selected floor and the colored floor, is not used because it gives us the idle state, and the idle state is 0, 0, so we don't actually need it. And here we have B and C. B is when the selected floor is bigger, and C was when the selected floor is smaller. Here's my logic to get the next state. And through the next state, we get the actual actions that the elevator can take, the actual states. Here we have the input G, which is really important. How G works for me is when we press G and when we are in idle, so we have to be at idle state, and we press G, the elevator goes down to floor 1 until it reaches floor 0, until it reaches actually floor 0. So when the current floor goes to 0, we go back to idle from down, which input G ordered us to do so. Okay, so I think I explained everything. These are our registers to represent the states. Now let's see if we simulated what happens. Okay, so everything is at 0. Current floor and select floor is at 0. So of course we remain at idle state. Let's say we now choose to go to floor 8. The next tick, the elevator will go up. We'll just keep going up until the current floor actually reaches floor 8. What happens then? The next tick goes to idle again. Now let's say we're at floor 15 and we want to go to floor 8. The elevator will go down because we're at a floor that is higher than the floor that we want to go. Now let's say that we actually reach the floor we want to go. It goes to idle because we've reached that floor. But now let's say, and it remains at that floor because that's how my elevator works. Just remains at the floor until another input is given from the selected floor. Now let's see, it's in idle form. So if you press G, what should happen is the elevator should go down, begin coming down until it reaches floor 0. Color floor F reaches 0. Let's see what happens. Press it once and we leave it for a tick. We'll press it once so we don't have to press it again. And it goes down. It remains going down until current floor actually reaches 0. Let's give it some time. And now let's see if we change that to 0. Floor 0, it goes to idle because G was pressed, and we reached the ground floor that we wanted to go. But now it goes immediately to up. Why is that? Why does that happen? Because we reached floor, we went to idle, and because the selected floor is 8, we just go up again. Let's say we reach again the floor we want to go. Okay, now let's press G again and leave it for a tick. It goes down. Now let's remove any selections. Going back to 0. And this elevator keeps going down because the current floor is still 8. We want to go to floor 0 as we have pressed G. Let's say we reach 0. From down, next tick, we'll go to idle right here. That happens, and we stay there because the floor is 0, the current floor is 0, and we haven't selected any other floors. We stay at 0. So yeah, this is my elevator. As you can see, everything works good. All my inputs were checked to see if the outputs work right. Thank you very much.